Hi, ladies. I'm so glad you were able to join me today. I'm Melissa Kwan, and I'm the founder of a global coaching brand that helps women manifest their best lives and get rid of those old fears, blocks, and beliefs that have been keeping them stuck so they can finally start living the life they deserve. Using a blend of mindset work and practical manifesting tools and processes, I empower my clients to create the freedom, abundance, and impact that they desire without having to work harder. So while we're waiting for people to log on, I'll just give you a little bit of a background about why I do this. The reason why I'm so passionate about this stuff is because a few short years ago, my life looked completely different. I grew up Christian, but from about my teens onward, I had completely lost my faith due to a variety of circumstances. I decided that I was an atheist. I got into the wrong crowd. I started partying all the time. I was in a series of highly dysfunctional and very abusive relationships, and at one point, it was so bad that I was driving home, and I hate to admit this, but I literally thought about how driving off the road seemed like a far better option than going home. So, needless to say, I was lost, I felt alone, and I was really stuck in this really controlling relationship. I'd been isolated from all of my friends and family. I had no dreams, no goals, and nothing to look forward to in life. Long story short, after doing a ton of mindset work and learning everything I could about manifesting and spirituality, I completely turned my life around in a very short amount of time. I was able to quit my jobs, and I created my own heart-based business where I'm now making more than double what I was when I was working for someone else. And not only that, I'm doing something that I love. I get to choose my own hours, I choose my own clients, and I usually only work between 5 and 15 hours per week, which is pretty awesome. So the thing is, once you know the foundations of how the universe works and you learn to apply it in the right way, you can use it to literally create anything that you desire. And it took me years to learn this stuff, but after doing all of those courses and workshops and coaching, and of course through trial and error, I've broken down the process into 5 steps, which I'm going to be teaching you during this masterclass today. These 5 powerful steps will allow you to really step into your power so you can create more income and impact without having to work harder. In fact, you'll probably be able to free up more time to do the things that you love, and it'll feel like you're actually doing less than before. So, to give you an overview of how this will go, we'll go over the 5 steps, and at the end of the masterclass, I'll be sharing with you exactly how I can help you implement these steps into your life starting today. By the end of this class, you'll have the foundation and the tools to get out there and start creating exactly what you want for your life and business. You'll no longer have to wait for your dream life because you'll know that you can start living it now. So before we begin, I'd just like to ask if you currently feel totally aligned with your purpose, creating the income and the impact you desire for yourself. And just type a quick yes or no in the comments. Okay, so lots of no's in there, and a few not yet's, sort of. Okay, so my second question is, how is not having this impacting you? How is it impacting your health, your loved ones? For me, not living my purpose was impacting my mood, my energy levels, my income, and my emotional well-being. Plus, when I thought about having a baby, I decided that I wanted to live fully aligned to my purpose so that I can show my kids that you can truly be, do, or have whatever you desire. I don't want a model that they have to hate their job and work really hard just to get by. So if you could decide exactly what your life looked like in the next 6 to 12 months, what would that look like for you? And for time purposes, I'm going to ask that you just write that question down and then take some time to really sit with it after this call today. If you already have an idea of what this looks like, though, feel free to share with us in the comments. Okay, so who is this webinar for? Well, if you're here right now, it's because you have a deep desire to serve people in a massive way. You've probably done a ton of personal development, read a lot of books, dabbled with EFT, goal setting, vision boards, affirmations, and all that jazz. This masterclass is for you if you're ready to go from personal growth junkie to manifesting master. It's for new and aspiring female entrepreneurs who are feeling overwhelmed with the day-to-day struggles of life and business and are ready to create some real results using a proven and practical formula to manifest their heart's desires. This is for women who've been working at their business for a while and are not yet hitting their income goals consistently, and who don't just want to create a business, but an empire where they're giving back in a massive way, and their bank accounts are a direct reflection of the value that they're providing. So you're in the right place if you know you have a huge purpose and you want to share your gifts with the world, but you haven't quite figured out how yet. You've spent long hours glued to your laptop trying to make your business successful, but you just aren't seeing the results you'd hoped for. Maybe you feel overworked, overwhelmed, and underpaid. You want real practical action steps and a blueprint on how to actually make the law of attraction and the universal laws work for you, not just all the visualize it and it'll come crap. You're here because you know that there's got to be a better way. You want to feel energized and excited about your life and business again, to have crystal clarity on your purpose and how to truly align with the life that you really want and the life that was meant for you. So connecting to your highest self and learning to create from your feminine energy really allows you to create so much more without all the hustle and the hard work. It becomes fun and effortless. It lets you create from a place of alignment rather than obligation or what you should be doing. And with that, let's dive in. All right, so in the next 30 minutes or so, you'll learn how to get crystal clear on your soul-aligned desires that will create real, lasting fulfillment, how to release the fear and the resistance to creating what you really want, the difference between action and aligned action, and why you need to stop hanging out constantly in Facebook groups, spending all of your time on social media, creating endless blog posts, or doing all of the unnecessary busy work that's making you overwhelmed and burnt out. You'll learn how to energetically align yourself with the income and the impact that you really want to create so that you can manifest your income goals with ease and flow. And finally, we'll cover how you can fast track your results and start living your dream life now instead of someday. So I want to ask you, is this resonating with you right now? Give me a yes in the comments if this has ever happened to you. You set a big, massive goal, you're excited, you're nervous, you write it down, you share it with your friends, you put it on your vision board, maybe you write out a few affirmations, and then nothing. So the procrastination sets in and resistance screws up your plans, and you get a massive unexpected bill that comes up out of nowhere, like your dog needs dental surgery, or you end up owing a ton on your taxes. Maybe technology starts crapping out on you, or you get in a massive fight with your spouse. So you start to think, well, maybe it's just not the right time, or maybe the universe is telling me that this isn't meant for me. But nope, that's not it. The problem is not that you suck at manifesting. You're just not following the formula. So maybe you feel totally overwhelmed with your business, like you're hustling hard, not making the money you desire, not reaching the right people. You're struggling to hit your income goals month after month, and you're starting to wonder whether having a successful business is even possible for you. You're always worried about when your next paycheck will be coming in, how you're going to pay the bills. You're fearful of your ability to manifest consistent income. Maybe you believe that you have to work really hard for your money, so you're subconsciously resisting it. Or maybe you feel like you're doing everything you can, taking all the action, following the steps of other successful people in your industry, but you still aren't seeing the results. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of yeses in here, which is great news because it means that you're in the right place, because these are the exact things that I want to help you overcome by the end of this masterclass. You'll learn how to master the inner work that'll help you get into alignment and become a vibrational match to the success and the abundance that you really want to manifest. So, like you, I've also struggled with many of these issues, but since implementing these steps that I'm about to share with you, I've literally turned my entire life around. I've manifested my soulmate, we just built our dream house, I have my dream job, we've got a baby on the way, we go on trips, I've won contests and tickets, received checks in the mail, random unexpected windfalls. I have a steady stream of amazing soul clients without having to do any of the paid marketing, and I am constantly attracting amazing new people and opportunities into my life using the exact principles that I'll be teaching you today. And all this has happened literally within 2 years of really implementing these steps. So I'm not telling you this to brag, but really to let you know what's possible for you. because I'm not by any means special. I've just been coachable and teachable, and I've done the work, so I've seen the results. So trust me, no matter who you are or what you've come from, if you're consistent and you do the work, you will manifest results. Okay, so before we jump in, to make the most of this training, I'd encourage you to switch off any distractions. So close off any other tabs or programs that you have running. And remember that if you do have any questions, I'll be available to answer them at the end of the masterclass. If by chance you're listening to the recording, I'd still love to hear from you. So feel free to submit any questions to me via email at hello@melissakwan.com. Okay, so here we go. Step 1 is getting crystal clear on your soul-aligned desires. This is the first step that will help you create more abundance and success in your life. And we do that by getting clear on what exactly that looks like. So often we set goals for ourselves that are very superficial, not bothering to look deeper into the real feeling that we're looking to achieve once we've reached that goal. And as a result, we reach our goals only to feel unfulfilled again shortly after. So you need to be able to differentiate between soul desires and superficial desires, because when you're super clear on what your soul's deepest yearnings are, you're working towards lasting fulfillment, and that's the real goal, right? So there's a common saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And this is not what we want. We want a clear destination and the path of least resistance. Am I right? So getting super clear on what your soul's ideal outcome is will not only help you get to that new reality more quickly, but it will also reduce the chances of feeling unfulfilled once you reach your destination, open you up to receiving the best path forward, help to release any resistance or fear, and ensure that you're fully aligned with your highest path. So for example, I had a client recently that came to me with a goal of starting her own coaching business. And at the start of our coaching together, she admitted that she wasn't really sure if this is what she wanted anymore. She'd been struggling for over a year now to make something of this business and hadn't signed up one client. So we worked on getting crystal clear on her ideal outcome and exactly what she wanted her future to look like, and here's what happened as a result. Melissa really helped me to get clear on my vision for the coaching community I wanted to create. Before I met her, I was swimming in a pool of doubt and I could not find the edge. I was at the point of losing my purpose because I was defeated. She helped me get my inspiration back and get clear on my vision. With her support, I was able to make my first ever coaching sale, and it felt absolutely amazing to be on the other side of doubt and to feel proud of the strides I made in 3 months. So this might seem like an obvious first step, but so many of us want to skip right to the end without building the proper foundations. And it's like trying to frame a wall without having built the floors. It's just not going to work. If you try to create new results without knowing exactly the outcomes you want to experience, you'll be left with a ton of confusion, self-doubt, and you may even give up on your dreams and lose sense of your purpose before ever giving yourself a fair chance. So a great way to go deeper into your desires is to ask yourself what the energetic statement is behind what you're trying to manifest. So for a lot of you on this call, you want to create a thriving business. So ask yourself, what will having this do for me? How will I feel once I've received it? Then what you want to do is just pick one word. That word may be freedom, abundance, love, empowered, joyful, peace, adventure. Whatever it is, that is the real essence of what you're manifesting. So once you have your word, you can create your soul-aligned goals that resonate to the energy of what that word means for you. Your goals and outcomes need to be clearly defined, actionable, and specific. So using the word freedom as an example, one of your big goals might be to create a thriving online business that is consistently bringing in $10,000 per month or better by December 2018. So if that goal aligns to freedom for you, then you're on the right track. So go ahead and write down that one word now, because we'll be using it in a later step. So it's never usually about the business itself or the car or the home or the trip. We want to look for the deeper why behind the desire, and if it feels aligned to what you want to feel, then go for it. But if you want the car because you want to prove to your ex that you're successful, which would resonate to the energy of spite or insecurity, or if you want the house because your sister just built her dream home and now you want one too, which might really resonate more to jealousy or competition, then consider if it's really what you want and if it's in alignment with who you really are. Also, be careful, because when we choose to go after things that aren't in alignment, we will often feel highly unfulfilled once we get them. And not only that, whatever the energy was behind the thing is what we'll attract more of into our life. Okay, so moving on to the second step. Step 2 is let go, believe, receive. And the second step is a bit of a 3-part process. So first, we need to learn to identify the old limiting beliefs, thoughts, patterns, and habits that are keeping you stuck where you are. And then let go of them so you can make room for the new energy of what you're trying to create. And a little disclaimer for you, this is an ongoing process. You will never be done. If you're not growing, you're not living. So it's more a matter of letting go of what needs to be let go of in this moment, then being open to receive, then let go, receive, and so on. And also, we need to be able to keep our vibe high in the process. Because as you let go of what's not working and all of that lower energy crap that's been keeping you stuck, you open up space to receive new, higher vibe thoughts, opportunities, ideas, and outcomes that you actually weren't able to see before. When you practice this and you get really good at it, you'll learn to love the process because you'll be aware of the rewards that come with it. So, for example, one of my clients was stuck in a pattern of working at a job that she absolutely dreaded going to every day, just because she believed that she needed to stay there in order to make money. So her ego was trying to keep her safe by having her stay in a situation that no longer served her. We worked on identifying all the reasons that she kept saying yes to these things, and we replaced them with new, more empowering beliefs, so she was actually able to reduce her shifts by 50% while making more money than she was making working full-time. Not only that, she now has plenty of time to focus on her real passion, which is writing. If you try to push against the resistance and you continue thinking the same thoughts, taking the same actions, and repeating the same bad habits, you're going to stay stuck in the same place that you are right now. And if you look at your life 3 years from now and you find yourself in the same place, same income level, same level of impact on the world, how would that make you feel? Now, if that just made you cringe and your first thoughts were, hell no, then you need to take the time to identify what your limits are and proactively work on letting them go and elevating yourself to a new state. And like I said, this is a continuous process. So once you release one layer, you'll reveal a new layer. And this is perfect. As long as you keep releasing and letting go, little by little, you start up-leveling your vibration, and in turn, you make room to attract those new people, opportunities, and energies into your field that will help you manifest your best life. And next, you need to absolutely believe that what you're trying to manifest is possible for you, because it is. Universal law states that a desire cannot exist without the thing to make it so, which means that if your desire weren't possible for you, it would not even be in your consciousness. And I say this a lot because it is super important. So know that once you decide on your soul-aligned desire, it's already here waiting for you to perceive the way to get it. There's so much that you can do here, and I could do an entire class just on this alone. But basically, you want to keep your vibration high and flood your mind with positive thoughts until you absolutely believe that what you want is yours for the taking. You need to feel it, see it, and know it. But here's the kicker, and most women are terrible at this part. You also need to be open to receiving. Once you let go of the old energies and the old stuff that's been keeping you stuck, that's when the new opportunities will start to show up. But if you suck at receiving, you're going to miss them. So you need to practice becoming an expert at letting go, believing that it's already here, and then being open to receiving. This can be as simple as learning to take compliments without feeling the need to give one back, or without discrediting it right away. Like when someone says, "Oh, you look so beautiful," respond with a simple "thank you." It is such a bad habit to respond with, "No, you look way better than I do," or "No, oh my God, this dress is so old and it was only $20," or "Oh, I don't, my hair is super greasy, I haven't showered in days." Also, if someone offers to buy you lunch or buy your coffee, say yes and thank you. If you see a coin on the floor, pick it up and say, "Thank you, I received this," no matter how much or how little money it is. So all of these practices will help open you to receiving so that when the universe tries to give you what you want, you're actually open to accepting it. Make sense? All right, great. So step 3 is becoming the person who has it now. And this is all about embodying a new way of being. This is arguably the most crucial piece to the manifesting process and really calling in that new, more successful, more abundant version of yourself. If you just do this one step, you'll manifest results so much more quickly. A common perception that we hold as a society is that when we reach point Z, we'll be happy. Once we have the thriving business, the car, the house, the soulmate, or whatever it is, our life will be complete. Not true. Learning to embody the energy of what you want to experience right now in the present moment is the key to attracting it into your life. So if you want to become an influencer in your industry and make a 6-figure income, you need to start learning to think and act like that person would act, and then take those actions right away. So you may ask yourself, well, as a 6-figure leader in the coaching industry, or as a CEO of a multinational firm, or as a powerful light worker who's healing thousands of women around the world, how do I show up each day? And then make a list of all the things. So for example, if your soul-aligned desire is to create a 6-figure online business as a coach, you'd likely know how to provide a ton of value to your audience. You'd be an expert at being visible so that you can build the know, like, and trust factor with your potential clients. You might be very diligent about tracking your finances and practicing self-reflection every day so that you can learn and grow from your mistakes and perceived failures. Also, you'll want to visualize how you carry yourself, what you choose to fuel your body with, how you dress, who you surround yourself with, how you react in certain situations, and what actions you'd take each day. Would someone who's a leader in your industry, for example, be sitting on their couch every night watching Netflix and eating ice cream out of the tub? Or would they be hitting the snooze button 10 times every morning and refusing to get out of bed? Maybe once in a while, but definitely not something they're doing every day, right? So they're probably reading, learning, diving deep into self-discovery, taking time for self-care, spending time with quality people who they love. The idea here is to create a solid list of all of the qualities of the person who already has what you want to create. If you can't imagine the person you need to become, start looking at the people in your industry who you'd love to be like. Or for some of you, you may find it easier to start looking at who you don't want to be like and do the opposite of that. We all manifest and perceive the world differently. But either way, if you don't start embodying the person you want to become right now, and you're not sure of who that person really is, you won't be an energetic match to that new life. You won't attract the people, the opportunities, or the ideas that are necessary to create the success that you desire. So do some digging. Look at the people in your industry who are living the life that you want to live, and ask yourself, what qualities do they have? What actions are they taking? And how do they show up in the world? Step 4 is take inspired action from that new embodied energy. So once you're clear on who the person is that actually deserves to have the life that you want to create, you need to start taking aligned actions towards creating the same thing for yourself. So have a look at your list and all of the qualities you need to embody, and whatever's on there that you're not yet doing, start doing it now. If you're not clear with your message, if you're not showing up for your community consistently, if you're not giving back because you don't feel abundant yet, if you're not taking the time for self-care because you feel like you need to constantly be working in order to be successful, then it's time to start doing these things anyways. So visualize this version of yourself who already has what you want, and start each morning by asking yourself, what actions would this person take today? And then do it. You can have a crystal clear vision for your future. You can do all of the inner work. You can let go, release old blocks. You can research all of the qualities you need to embody. But without this step, what do you think will happen? Nothing, right? Because if you're trying to change your physical reality here on the physical plane or the third dimension, you're going to need to take physical action. It only makes sense, right? Thought only exists on the fourth dimension. You can't see thoughts. You can make the decision to change. You can decide who you need to become. But until you start actually making new choices and embodying that new vision on a physical level, you're going to remain stuck where you are. Because really, a thought is just a thought until you take action on it. I have a client who's extremely intuitive. She's always telling me exactly what she knows she needs to be doing, but then she says that she wishes her ego would stop throwing up resistance and stopping her. But guess what? Your ego is always going to be there. So until she starts choosing to listen to her higher self and her intuition over her ego, she's just not going to experience different results. So ask yourself, which voice are you listening to? And is that voice still serving you? Keep in mind also, there's a massive difference between action and inspired action. Action is an outdated and very masculine way of trying to create success, especially as women. And unfortunately, that's the only way we've been taught to do things. Lots of planning, strategizing, pushing, analyzing, and doing a lot of busy work. Action stems from your mind or your ego, and it's when you're doing what you think you need to be doing. It's when you look at the steps and what's working for others, and then you try and model that same thing, but for some reason, you don't see the same results. Action leaves you feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, overworked, and sometimes, especially for entrepreneurs, underpaid. Inspired action, however, happens when we learn to embody our feminine power and make decisions from a place of intuition, creativity, and what feels good. So what works for one person will not work for every person. We're all unique in how we create, how we think, how we manifest, and how we experience life. So taking the time to get clear on what makes you feel good, what actions you love doing in your business, and what ones you don't, so you can stop, and what your unique voice, divine gifts, and your purpose are, will help you create from a space of flow and ease instead of struggle and hustle. And I'll let you in on a little secret for how to align all of your actions to your desires. Remember that word that you wrote down in step 1? So start taking a ton of action, not just in your business, but in your life also, that align to the energy of what that word means to you. So for example, my word was freedom. So I stopped doing all of the things that made me feel restricted, which is the opposite of freedom for me. And I started doing more of what makes me feel free. And when you align your actions to your soul-aligned desires, you start raising your frequency to match the energy behind that thing. And it's basic law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So like thoughts attract like thoughts. Like vibrations attract like vibrations. So the more I'm doing freedom in my day-to-day life, the more I'm aligning to the energy of freedom. By doing things like going to yoga during the day, only working with 3 clients a week, going for massages on Fridays, and making a deal with my boyfriend that I don't want to have to cook every day of the week, so he actually now cooks on weekends. All of those things make me feel more free. I'm aligning myself with the vibration of freedom, both in my day-to-day life and also directly in my business. So if you want to create freedom, you need to start doing freedom as much as you can in your daily life. Okay, so we connect to our feminine power by connecting with our soul's desires, acknowledging our limiting beliefs and allowing them to just be without judgment, taking the time for self-care, and creating a life of balance. As an entrepreneur, it's so easy to get caught up in your work and the feeling of feeling guilty if you're not constantly glued to your computer, because that's what we've been taught we have to do in order to be successful. But really, when you take the time to really connect with what makes you feel good, you're raising your vibration and the path forward in your business will become so much more clear. When I stopped focusing on marketing and sales and how I was going to make money in my business, and I literally quit doing all of it other than posting on Instagram consistently because that's what I enjoy doing, that's when my business really started to flow. Then eventually, once I felt the timing was right, I delegated all of those other tasks that I dreaded doing and that I would procrastinate on to a team of experts who actually specialize in those things. And now I get to focus solely on my clients and teaching about manifesting. So it doesn't actually feel like work at all anymore. I've opened up so much space for creativity, ideas, and intuition because I'm not so focused on all the things that I felt like I had to be doing. I'm working way less and making way more, and at the same time, I'm reaching more people with my message because now I actually feel like I'm creative enough to write posts and content that's valuable. Doing all the things that you really hate doing squashes your creativity, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. All right, the last and final step, step 5, is hold yourself accountable. So if you want to create the results that you desire without having to work harder, you have to hold yourself accountable by either hiring a coach or a mentor who really knows what they're doing and can literally hold your hand and light the way for you. You do not need to waste years trying to figure this all out on your own. The number one reason why it takes people so long, if ever, to achieve their goals is because they have no one holding them accountable to what they say they want. So they get caught up in their head, they listen to their ego, and fear starts to run the show. Let's face it, it's human nature to try harder when we know someone else is watching or when we have some skin in the game. So think about being at the gym or in a workout class. You work out so much harder when other people are around as opposed to when you attempt to do a workout at home. Like my workouts at home, which consist of me lying on a mat picking what music I want to listen to next. It wasn't until I took the leap and hired my first high-level business coach, which was $5,000 at the time, which was a huge leap for me, and then my next business coach, which was $17,000, that I really started to show up for myself and my business. Up until that point, I wasted time doing busy work, I didn't treat my business like a business, and I didn't hold the right mindset to see the success I was craving. I got caught up in all of the newest marketing strategies, building my website, learning the latest and greatest social media strategies, and it left me burnt out and broke. I was stuck in patterns of invisibility, and I was wondering why my business wasn't taking off. So maybe you're experiencing something like this right now, feeling super busy all the time but not getting any new results, unsure about what the next best steps are, so you find yourself running in circles, overwhelmed by the never-ending options and advice available online, doubting yourself and your ability to create the success, the wealth, and the life that you've been yearning for. So here are a few testimonials from some of my more recent clients. Kayla is from LA, and she's a food writer for Eater LA, and she's a travel blogger. She's also working on developing an app right now for the restaurant business. And she says, hiring Mel has helped me greatly so far. Athletes all have coaches who help them become better competitors, so why shouldn't we get help to become the best versions of ourselves? I've shifted my mindset to be more present and to meditate so that I can be more connected to my higher self. I've also learned that if I want different results, I need to take different actions, and working with Mel has really inspired me to take those actions. I've been working on taking risks every day, even if it feels uncomfortable, because I know it'll lead to growth. I like to end the day writing in a gratitude journal and giving thanks for another high-frequency day. And this one's from Tammy. She's a healer and intuitive from Vancouver, BC. And she says, wow, Melissa really has a gift of helping you see outside the box of where you're stuck and lifting you to the highest potential and helping you see yourself from that new space. At the start of our coaching, I was wanting to focus on my business, but she was able to guide me back to the basics of what I really wanted in my heart. Not only am I learning to manifest in my business, but in all areas of my life. Melissa is passionate, intuitive, spiritual, a great listener, and has a strong ability to keep you focused and accountable to your heart's true desires. So sometimes all it takes to make those big shifts in your life and business is having an outside perspective to help keep you on track, to push you in the right direction, and to shift your perspectives so that you can finally see what's been in front of you all along. Most people set their goals and desires based on what they believe is realistic. They're unable to see past the limitations that they place on themselves, and often it takes a coach or an outside perspective to help you dream bigger and to shift your beliefs around what you think is possible. So why do so many people struggle to change their limiting beliefs on their own? It's because they don't have the right tools. You've probably tried doing your affirmations, visualizing your ideal outcomes, maybe you've made a vision board and so on, but working with someone who's been where you are and has an outside perspective really helps you achieve those breakthroughs and those inner shifts that very rarely you're able to achieve alone. So if you've done all this work before and you find yourself constantly reverting back into fear mode when it gets too uncomfortable, you may want to consider hiring someone who will keep challenging you and guiding you through those moments of discomfort. So you keep yourself aligned with who you need to be and therefore can manifest as if you are already that person. Working with a coach who can give you a loving kick in the butt when you're not showing up for yourself and what you say you want can be a great way to accelerate your results with this process. So often we can't see where we're holding ourselves back, and we just need that outside person to push us forward. So to recap, step 1 was all about getting crystal clarity on your soul-aligned desires. Step 2 is to let go, believe, and receive. Step 3 is becoming the person who has it now and really embodying that new way of being. Step 4 is taking inspired action that's aligned with your soul's desires. And finally, step 5 is all about being accountable and working with a coach or a mentor who has done the work and created the results that you'd like to create so that you can start seeing your results faster and don't waste the time, money, and energy trying to figure it all out on your own. Okay, so before we go, I've got one final and very important step that you need to take. So over the next 48 hours, I'm blocking out some time specifically for those of you who join me on this call today. I'm giving away a handful of 1-hour manifesting breakthrough sessions to the first 5 people who sign up, where you'll discover your biggest block to manifesting what you actually want, and we'll work on how you can shift it right on the call. The best part is I'm offering this completely for free. So you should have seen a link pop up into the comments box. And if you'd like to be personally shown how you can start creating your life exactly as you want it without having to work harder within the next 90 days, then click on the link and pick a time from my schedule that works for you. I don't normally offer many of these strategy sessions as they're very time consuming, and I also work with a very limited number of clients at any one time, just to make sure that I'm able to serve at my highest level. So my advice to you would be to act fast, as they normally get snapped up straight away. So during this call, I'll be personally walking you through how you can shift your biggest blocks to manifesting, and I'll give you a few practical strategies to transform those old beliefs right on the call. Now, while you're booking your call, I just want to go back and see if any of you have any questions for me, and if so, you can just pop them into the comments box. And if you're listening to the replay right now, then please feel free to submit any questions that you have to hello@melissakwan.com. And I've actually had some questions sent in to me by email and direct message, which I want to answer. So the first question is from Danielle, and she asked, how do you really get into vibrational alignment to receive? In terms of consistency, is that 15 minutes per day or is more time required? So the key word here is consistency, and I get it, life gets busy. I know that my routine got totally shaken up once a kid and a family came into the picture. So as long as you're doing something every day, you're on the right track. One of my favorite practices is to focus on one goal per month, and at the very least, I write it out 3 times to invoke the numerological power of 3s, and then I repeat it out loud. So it takes less than 10 minutes per day, and if I'm running short on time, I can always squeeze it in. However, manifesting is like a muscle, so the more you work it, the stronger it gets. If you can dedicate 30 or 60 minutes a day to connecting to your higher self, do it. Also, you can use anchors to help you focus on your daily goal. So, for example, changing your passwords to the income goal that you're trying to create, or using an affirmation like I am enough, or writing your affirmation on the mirror and leaving it on Post-its around the house so that you see it every day. You can set reminders in your phone to pop up every hour or 2 hours. All of these little tricks will help you keep your desires on the forefront of your subconscious so that you're being consistent even when you don't have a lot of extra time. Okay, and let me know if that answers your question. Next question is, how do you know if you're taking regular action or inspired action? Okay, so the general rule of thumb is action is what you feel you should be doing, what everyone else says that you need to be doing, or what society says you need to be doing, whereas inspired action comes from the heart. So it generally feels lighter and it comes from intuition. So how can you tell then if it's intuition versus ego? Well, the ego is generally really loud, it contradicts itself, it questions its decisions, and it often feels really heavy, the action. So if you might feel like you're procrastinating because it's not really aligned with you. Whereas intuition, on the other hand, is that quiet voice behind the ego. The inspiration that comes to you when you're fully present, often when you're driving or walking in nature or having a shower or something of the sort. So intuition will always be positive, never negative. And it's usually that thing that's nagging at you silently in the background that you know that you need to be doing, but you just keep putting off. Your intuition will also be really specific, and it usually only gives you one action at a time. So it won't be telling you that you need to be doing a million different things. And if you don't do it, it's the thing that keeps popping up randomly into your consciousness until you start to listen. So it should both excite you and make you a little nervous. It's generally that thing that you've been resisting that you know is going to take you to the next level. Okay, hope that helps. Next question is, how exactly do you let go of your blocks? Okay, so there are so many ways to do this, but one of my favorites is to take whatever it is that you know is stopping you. For example, you might have a fear of being visible, or a fear of success, or feeling like you have to work hard for your money, or whatever it is, and then write down all the reasons why that belief stops you. So once you have all of the things written down, you want to question it. So if you believe, for example, that you have to work really hard for money, then ask yourself, is this really true? Is it true for everyone? And start looking for all of the ways that you can prove your belief wrong. I guarantee you that 100% of the time you'll find a ton of evidence against the belief. And once we can do that, it's so much easier to let it go and decide that it may not be true for us anymore. Another great method would be reprogramming the neural pathways through NLP or EFT. I work a lot on this stuff with my coaching program, but you can look them both up online, and there's a ton of info how to get started with it. Okay, and lastly, Heather asked, do you have any sort of ritual when you're about to work with manifesting? As in, do you really focus on setting your physical surroundings, or would a minimalist approach work of simply sprinkling it throughout the day, like moments of mindfulness? With a baby, it's so hard to find a quiet moment. My meditation practice was very different a year ago than it is now. Okay. So the thing with manifesting is you're always doing it. You're doing it whether you're doing it intentionally or not. So the basics of the law of attraction say that like attracts like. So if you can consistently focus on what you want, visualize your ideal life throughout the day, repeat affirmations, gratitude statements about what you want as if it's already happened, and do these things whenever you can, you'll be consciously shifting your vibration just a little bit each day. So you can turn on inspirational podcasts while you're doing housework. You can flood your head with what you want instead of what you don't want. Also, and I kind of mentioned this already, but since manifesting is all about consistency, part of my 30-day manifesting ritual is to write out what I'm trying to manifest in the form of a gratitude statement. And I do it 3 times each day, and then I read it aloud. So if you can squeeze 5 to 10 minutes in at some point during the day, this is a super powerful practice. Also, just for an extra boost of energy, I typically pick what I'm focusing on manifesting on the new moon, and then I just focus on that one thing for the next 30-ish days or so, or until the next new moon, so that I'm amplifying the energy with the moon cycles. Oh, and actually we have one more question here from Dina. So, how do I deal with some of the guilt that pops up when I feel like I make money incredibly easy? I feel so bad around people who are working so hard for so little, and yet it just flows to me easily. I always have this guilt popping up. Okay, well, you need to know that you are 100% worthy. This is very likely rooted in the deeper belief that you're not worthy, and how this shows up is maybe you don't believe that others can fend for themselves, or that there's not enough to go around, which when you look at these things objectively, it's just not true. So the universe is abundant, and you are abundant and totally worthy of everything that you're creating. So if you're creating the results, it's because you're doing the work, and you deserve it. We're all made equal, and we all have the exact same opportunity to make money. So if someone else isn't doing the work to call in more money into their life, and you are, it's 100% because you're doing the work and they aren't. It's not a question of worthiness. It's a reflection of their actions, thoughts, and beliefs, which are not your responsibility. Okay, so hopefully by now you've all clicked on the link and booked your free strategy session. And if you have, I can't wait to connect with you there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have gained a lot from this masterclass, and hopefully I'll be getting to speak with some of you very soon. All right, thank you, ladies. Have a great day.